we take it make rum. So when tourists come down, Jamaica, the land of the wood and water. Jamaica, the land of the wood and water. We plant sugar cane and we take it make rum. We plant sugar cane and we take it make rum. So when tourists come, don't you make them run. It's a tourist season. Me, I want tourists, I go reason. And it's a tourist season. Me, I want tourists, I go reason. The first time I kiss, I coulda never miss. This a tourist season. Me, I want tourists, I go reason. Ah, this a tourist season. Me, I want tourists, I go reason. Some of them black and some of them white. Let's live together, let us all unite. Why should black and white should fuss and fight? Let's live together, let us all unite. It's a tourist season. Me, I want tourists, I go reason. Ah, this a tourist season. Me, I want tourists, I go reason. Jamaica, the land of the wood and water. Jamaica, the land of the wood and water. We plant sugar cane and we take it make rum. We plant sugar cane and we take it make rum. So when tourists come, don't you make them run. It's a tourist season. Me, I want tourists, I go reason. This a tourist season.
Things and times. Things and times. Channel of enlightenment. You're in tune to Things and Times. Mr. Best.
strongest of the structures in the night. If you have strong faith, you will stay alive. If you live with love, you shall survive. Things and times are rough. Don't it get so tough? We never get enough. The Lord is near and the Lord is near and yes, He must be near and things and times are rough. Don't it get so tough? We never get enough. The Lord is nearer and He must be nearer and what we are gonna do? Money can't help you. Rich man I feel it too. The Lord is nearer and He must be nearer and oh yeah. Strongest of the structures in the night. If you have strong faith, you will stay alive. If you live with love, you shall survive. If you have strong faith, you must stay alive.
Things and times. Things and times. Channel of enlightenment.
Africans living all about must let themselves be known as black man. Alright. Africans living all about must let themselves be known as Africans. Alright. Africans living all about must let themselves be known as the right ones. Alright. Look at them. African descendant, we all African descendant. Yeah, 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 yeah. African descendant. Ooh. Africans living all about must let themselves be known as black men. Alright. Africans living all about must let themselves be known as the right ones. Alright. Africans living all about must let themselves be known as Africans. Oh yeah. Look at them. Yeah, yes. We are African descendant. We all African descendant. Yeah, yes. African descendant. Africans living all about must let themselves be known as the right ones. Alright. Africans living all about must let themselves be known as one. Alright. Africans living all about must let themselves be known as Africans. Alright. Take it easy now. Right ones. We are the Africans. African descendant. Oh. African descendant. Yeah, yeah, yes. African descendant. Oh. Africans living all about must let themselves be known as Africans. Alright. Africans living all about must let themselves be known as the right ones. Alright. Africans living all about must let themselves be known as Africans. 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 We are Africans. 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 We are
Things and Times. Things and Times, channel of enlightenment. You're in tune to Things and Times with Mr. Best.
Yeah, it's true to nothing but the truth. Yeah. Oh. Run, run, run. Revolution a come. Run, run, run. Revolution a come. Some of them want socialism. Some of them want capitalism. Some of them want communism. They all want all kind of ism. Run, run, run. Revolution a come. Run, run, run. Revolution a come. The press must free, so we all can see your wrongdoings and your brutality. Run, run, run. Revolution a come.
Greetings, we're there with you, Things and Times. We are say all these things and we're going to say much, much more, because in the midst of what Hugh Mandel just was saying, we are think so that we were all together in the revolution of finding ourselves and our ancestors, and let repatriation be a must. But as we go along, we're here enough opportunists, and we're here a lot of disheartening voices who themselves is marathon runners. And then we have the firemen them. So I can't understand really why they both act the way they do and try to create division. Especially when you hear a Rasta man or a man who identify as Rasta. Our Islam do uno. What has Islam done to uno? What condemnation has Islam done to uno? But when Islam reach out and a Muslim reach out and invite uno, and I no reject it, and when we take all kinds of pleasantries from Muslim in Morocco and even on the continent, and I never say no. Smiling faces, shaking hands and bowing head, and have to be told, it's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we bow to, bow not. And even then, it was an Habashi that looked like you that said these things to you. It was another human being that did not look like us. But the one I'm talking about was a visitor in that land and was treated with great hospitality and was never forced or even requested to embrace Al-Islam. Al-Islam never enslaved Africans. If that is understood by you and those who listen to you and those who propagate that stuff, bring that evidence. I mean, I want nothing from Marcus Garvey's son. We don't want nothing from them people there. Because that's not evidence. It's speculation. And him should have known better. For his father advanced with Muslims. And you all should know better also. His first major job him get, an advancement him get, was here in England with some Muslims. The first journalistic training was with Muslims. But Muslims weren't showing off. Them cared not. The major priority was for the African humanity and dignity. Why do you all twist it and be very selective? So, which Africans that you all know that you must prefer to the rest of the Africans? This is a serious question, you know. Because this domicile prejudice needs to stop. It needs to stop. You have more pressing issues and social structure problems and ethical problems and care problems. And you not spend no time trying to find solution and orchestrate the people them on an island. And you come try to create problems on a continent, and you can't do nothing significantly on an island. Raise the standard of intelligence and ethical and moral principles. Step on our corner and we step right back. Seriously. Al-Islam is here for humanity, the whole world. It not do no wrong to no one. A human being, yes, like me, yes. But this thing where, this conjecture that y'all spew out, Arabs, who are they? It's better to say Arabians. When you find out that your grandfather, one of your grandfathers, your great-grandfather, was an African Arab, what then says you? You stop talk then. If one of your relative married a Muslim, what then says you? What? How can your child be so damn stupid? Abyssinia, i.e. Ethiopia, is one great kingdom that also was Islamic. Who captured them? Who enslaved them? Who tortured them? No one. Who invaded them, you know that. So it's Abyssinia you should work with, i.e. Ethiopia. And start your first primary school, secondary school, advancement to college, and little more university, Abyssinia. And find out who you are, what we are, and what is a Muslim, and also what is an Arab. Because the white man is so obsessed with blackness, black people now decide to become obsessed with blackness too. So, what is your real identity? And if you can call three tribes, what is it that you actually know about them? An historical reference, right? What their language could be, or their dialect could be. And them have some kind of rituals that is not Western, obviously. But the intriguement and the fascination is because it's mystic, it's mystifying, natural. So what would be the problem? And take into account that they said there's 52 countries on the continent, or 53, even 55. Who cares? Which one of them, or how many of them and its people you're going to isolate, or ignore, or condemn, or try to rewrite their rewrite or write a history for them, coming from outside, wanting to be acquainted. Is that how learning works? One thing we must actually be truthful about is that we all have been taught by the Western man. And we all in the diaspora, all through the Caribbean and the South Americas, African black people, we have received their education. And that education was never about us. And anything about us was so demeaning. So the question to be asked then, where did this alleged information pertaining to Islam and Muslims come from? And this great love and affinity to King James, the Anglican, Rome, and all these other phenomena come from? The said people who educated all of us. And some of us are so fascinated and some of us are so fully assimilated that even we try to convince ourselves we're not. So everyone came out of Rastafari and got the privilege and the means to travel and experience why is traveling obviously so much and so much. When did this discriminated mindset towards Muslims and what you call Arabs, where did this come from? You need to find the root. How did that come? And the history that's on Africa and in African in America, North America, shows everybody that there were hundreds of thousands of African Muslims, male and female, in a bondage. And not today, yesteryears. But our advancement, our integrity, our oneness, is that the problem? But here comes Kunta Kinte, the alleged name Kunta Kinte, Alex Haley, and his film expunged some Muslim families, African families, including some Muslim families, are Muslim people. What? Were you in attendance and watched the movie? So when it came to Kunta Kinte, you close your ears and shut your eye. It's a strange thing with some of you people. Because when it comes to Amawali, otherwise known as Melchizedek Shabazz, otherwise known as Malcolm X, you all try to show a close affinity and a love for him. Is it really him? Or is it what he espoused? Or was it the energy that he displayed? Or was it the personality? What was it? Because he encountered the Muslim. That's what he was. Because he read. He was in the Nation of Islam, but he was what you all call an Orthodox, and we say Sunni Muslim, because he read. And that learning took him to another level. Why is he was in the Nation of Islam? Fard Muhammad was not Allah to him. And Elijah Muhammad was not the prophet to him. So what was it about him that intrigued you all and fascinated you all? Because in that case, you all are hypocrites. And you want to develop a generation that we're all going to leave behind in mysticism, in confusion. Because we just cannot strive together equally. I honor who I make people think, say, that we have a problem when the Western man is who had a problem with themselves. Use religion to sort out their problem, and then use religion to capture other people and dominate other people, and then preach that religion is the problem for humanity. It's not religion, it's people is narrow-minded, self-centered, ignorant people and jealous people. And there's a thing inside all of us, We want to be dominant. We want to be most exclusive. And we should know about this, because till we play music, everybody wants an exclusive version, copy, masterpiece. Whether you play the sound system or whether they're in your yard. But you see, when you get to a certain age, you can't run the marathon anymore. And you should hand over the music to the children. If the music have something significant in it. But if you're going to hand over our decadence and our ignorance of segregation to our children, so that the next generations them that will come will be more docile than we. That's no form of accomplishment. It's no form of accomplishment. Africa is not angelic. Africans are not angelic. They are mortal flesh, human beings. They never go outside and war and try to conquer other nations outside of the continent. And many of them have their own disturbances among one another. And resolve those things. This plague of racism is not African. This plague of segregation is not African. This is something that was inflicted, taught, and expounded. And we have been mentally seduced to those things. But he who seeks to know better should try to do better. But popularity contest is what a lot of you run. And well, you know it, and pretend with your intellectual capacity to hide behind ignorance. What for? What for? He who teaches, she who teaches, hear what happens. We learn to teach, and then we teach to learn. You understand? You want it again? Write it down, man. Write it down. Write it down. We learn to teach, and we teach to learn. Yes. Put that in the chalice. And whether you smoke or not, light it, because it can be a great fragrant. It can be a great fragrant. You understand? You want it again, not true? Okay. He, she who teach, we learn to teach, and we teach to learn. See? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, whatever you want to say. See? And it's simple. Why am I saying it's simple? Because we want good. That's what black people in the diaspora, male and female, requires. Goodness. And we want to find truth. And we want to have great solidarity with our brothers and sisters, family, exclusively on the continent. That's the yearn. Not segregation, isolation, based on sectarianism, religion, groupism. You people don't want to think. And you're not going to win no prizes. And then you're going to select some Western-minded Africans to share that stance that you have. You all have. And make your audience them feel say that that's the order of the day. When it's not. And it will never be. All it will do is become a hindrance. Because it's an opposing view, an opposing opinion that makes people stop in them track. And there's no intellectual information to justify the stance or the position that you all have taken. None whatsoever. Just conjecture and a self-developed prejudice of yourself and your ancestors, which you don't know. And it is plausible that if you did try to know, you will find out that one of your great-grandparents' mother, auntie, was Fatima, or Aisha, or Hawa, even Nzinga. And your great-grandfather could be Dawood, Bilal, Solomon, Idris, Mikel, Luqman, Abraham, even Muhammad. What then says you? Stop throwing stones. You know, and have glass house. But don't bother throw stones. We're going to go to Mozambique. And then we're going to come back to our hometown, Uganda. And we might even go to my grandfather's home, Sudan. And we may come back to my great-grandfather's home, Namibia. And we may come back to my great-great-great-grandfather's home, Ghana. And then my great-grandfather again. Nigeria. And my wife home, Nigeria. So what says you that went to 12 different countries and you're not land on one, but you're finding conjecture on Africa? Barack Obama put some troops, black people from America, on the continent. They have bases all across the continent. Them look just like us. They do some disturbing, dangerous things and create problems and divisions and hostility among neighbors. And that group of people is called, under the offices of a thing called AFROCOM. But of recent months, since this pandemic, and all the atrocities that them started to commit in Nigeria, many have been caught, you know. Yes, but you don't know that. And if you do, you don't want to talk that. You want to say that we're going like barbarians and all these other names you try to call. And we're rape and pillage and so forth. Little man, get some facts. Stop dealing with your Western black journalists and talk all this shaggery. It's better get facts. You can't talk them thing there under the street. Well, you shouldn't talk them thing there internationally. You hurt people. It's disingenuous. And I go come back to the court case of that because one should really think carefully. And Mozambique, if you don't know, seek information and then cross-reference the information to then get to some kind of conclusion. And if it's not, leave it alone. And the rest of that, check it out, cross-reference it. And sometimes you find the thing not too tally. And you say, yo, part that up. Western-mindedness, to be the first to say something, sometimes is what becomes so plausible to a person who feels that they're international journalists and they want the first news. Did I just say all those things? And I just come yesterday. You understand? Because me just say this because we not throw too much stones and rotten egg at Muslims. Huh? Seriously. For no reason whatsoever that I can figure. Seriously. Yo, you Mandel. man, them last for cause star. Seriously. False leaders.
Yeah. Got to tell you, 'cause it's true. So as it were in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. With thunder, earthquake, and lightning, Jehovah dashed them again and again. I'm alone in this wilderness. Lord, you know I'm trying to do my best to make my life secured from this poverty. Yet all I see around me is pure misery. False leaders are dealing.
See, when a one was treading and one trod across the pond, well, not across this pond, but flying to the US of A and learned something and was guided into something that was white women. That was two human beings that knew something that I didn't know. I was aware of some things that I still didn't know. And I was vital, Rasta. And them was curious of vital and vital Rasta. Not the man, the liberty. And them expand their lifestyle, being vegans, being holistic people, being people that want organic 100. And are very careful about what the intake is. And even what they wear. Because them love hem garments. And them love cotton garments, not silk. And them love books. And they had so much books on natural living, natural eating. So much. And they showed all of these things. And they showed the potential of being able to have those things. And also make them available to those who will not have the opportunity to see those things, hear about those things, touch those things. And I grew with an understanding. And then I had got a business. And my business, through my own intuition and determination, grew and advanced. That's man in connection with the world, other human beings. And it's a mutual exchange. Knowledge, creativity, aspiration. That happened. And then one become prosperous. Prosperous because consistency and an opportunity was given. At the same time, me lost a brother. He was killed, murdered in the U.S. Shot. Paul Hector, Rastafari youth. The merchandiser for the whalers. Are we knocking on anybody's door? Are we not supposed to commemorate all those who have aided and supported us with gratitude? Are we supposed to push up with chest and go on like say we're self-made? No man's an island. Didn't you remember that tune? And no man stands alone. Do you remember that tune? Various artists sung it, but Dennis Brown is one who sing it very smooth. Very smooth. And it was a regular plate at the 12 Tribe of Israel. Gadman them dance celebration. What am I talking about? Gratitude. And he who hears it, knows it, feels it all. And a lie are the truth. It's the truth. Searching to find a way in life. What's the body name? Shanaki, otherwise known as Green Sleeve. Sign the man them, including the diamonds. And money was made again. Yes, another opportunity to understand how the music industry and the Western economics in the music work. Never opportunity. Oh yes. They never looked like us. They were intrigued and fascinated. But they knew a market in the land that they live. And even outside of the land that they live, in England, in Canada, and so on. Opportunity. Some people behave like them amass so much by themselves. Self-made. A lie. It's an opportunity through traveling and through the curiosity of people that you bumped into and then bump into. And they had good conversation and very polite. And through their inquisitiveness and exchange developed and gave the ones them a great opportunity. Yes? And since then, he never looked back. Never look back. I tell you, one should be most genuine. Most genuine. I tell you, we don't make ourselves. And we're not a landmass. We're mortal human beings. I'll tell you. How much more should I say? Mr. Best. You see how me can call my name? You think so fear got me? Cha, that's my mother's name. And I wear it proudly. See? Okay. Oh, you want my African name? Akwezi. Yes. It actually is from Ghana. Ghana. You understand? Okay. A Swahili me I learn, you know, so when I go pronounce my Ugandan name. You see? Okay. But my Islamic name, it's three of them. You know? Yeah. My Islamic name, my Muslim name. So me have names. Can me have title? And I'm proud of them. African. Why am I doing this? Because I have to. Not because I can, because I have to. I can't tolerate the nonsense that you espoused the other day.
When we are hungry,
and ask nobody and beg nobody nothing. This belong to us. You understand? See it? So one can say, well, I would do that small boy there. And nothing to me. Nothing at all, man. Truth and right, and time will surely tell. You understand? And if you mean good, she not try your honest best, your efforts best to portray goodness for her children. Yes. Not just yours, other people's. We have a responsibility beyond ourselves. We also have a duty beyond ourselves. And you know that. Beyond ourselves, you know. We have a duty and a responsibility. Yeah? Money just don't keep cutting it, man. It doesn't. It doesn't. Because you finish up just a lustful person. And well, you don't know it. But it's happening because that's all you have done. And because a person become good at it, it happens automatic. It become repetitious. But who dare pull our cloaks and try to help or try to correct us, rein us in? The Prophet of Islam tell us that, man. Don't get beyond yourselves. And a brother is a keeper to another brother. Huh? Not with arrogance. True support. So we just don't go off in tantrums. So what the West is painting about Muslims is because they want to disengage. And they want nasty because they're coming with something different. And now they're having the support of people like yourselves, to tarnish African Muslims. When we're not involved with the American CIA or covert operators, we're not involved. But God knows, and the wise people in this earth knows, it's the African time again. What for? Leadership. And what was not predicted is that the children of the slave in the West will return to their greater ancestors. And we've returned in spirit. We've been connected. But they didn't expect us to have longitude and latitude. They didn't. They thought it was just going to be like reggae, a dance phenomena, and ray, and a DJ phenomena, and ray, and then it would die. And that was it. That would be it. No. Them see that we have stamina. And them see that we are learn. Them see that we take time out to learn the language. We time out to learn the alphabet. Time out to learn the pronunciation. Time out to learn the history. Time out to learn the references. Time out to live. What have you all, as Pan-Africans and Garveyites, what have you done? We've taken that time out. We've taken that adventure. We have been consistent in it. And it has nurtured us. So it's not a passing fight. No, it's not. And we have developed our families, not by force, with love. And we are living Islam. And we are learning Islam. And we will die as Muslims in Al-Islam. We're not unhappy. And we're not jealous and envious of others. Because in the first place, we weren't like that. We weren't like that. Now we're 100 as human beings. We're not jealous and envious of anybody's. Neither are we lustful. Neither do we feel insecure that you think we go around threatening people and cutting off people. These are dangerous things that the West have created and manufactured with their covert operations and everything to nasty up the image of Muslims, not of Islam, of Muslims. But does it hinder us? It doesn't. It's just a marketing tool that we've understood. Our houses, our doors are open. We're not fanatics. We're not extremists. We're not terrorists. We're human beings. We're extreme. We're extreme. Again, we're extreme. Faithful and loyal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. Is that extreme? Oh God. Fundamental. Yes, to the Quran. And fundamental to Allah. What is that? That we will not sway right or left, left or right, up or down. We stay right there within that circumference. It's not just belief, you know. It's that we live it, we know. And we're comfortable. Unless you want to send somebody here now to put some propaganda rubbish in my computer or through my door, and within the next hour, some undercover CID or MI5 or 6 or 7 comes and say them find terrorist manuals and so forth. Because those things don't faze us. It can happen. All them just do is just discomfort my life. That's what would happen. They just discomfort my life. And if my brothers and sisters are involved, just discomfort us. But we will prevail. Because you see, when you're with truth, you don't have to put up a defense. It's just discomfort that we have to endure for a time. You know the tune, Only for a Time? I'll go play that for you too. By the Mighty Royals, you know. It's right there by my foot right now. Yeah? I'm going to drop it because a lot of sin things is only for a time, but at the same time, if you know these things are inevitable, you must do something about it. So we don't thief. And we don't try to get guns and bombs. We spend too much time reflecting on the life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has awarded us, even in this time of the pandemic. Because nothing change. It's just that this thing is here. And we'll get ready and prepare for Ramadan, God willing. Some of us will see it, some of us endure it, and some of us will not. Because life is a journey to which you know. So I want to play at least 12 more tunes, and they're all dedicated to you and your brethren them. You understand? Seriously, I'm not easy. You know, see, you're there on a big, big station, and we're not a station. We just there run up with mouth.
My brothers and my sisters, now this is a message of love. Oh, yeah. And if only everyone learned.
And you can't select tune like me. I'm good at it, you know.
My brothers and my sisters, now this is a message of love. Oh, yeah. And if only everyone learned to live in love and unity, then things would be better.
See them intro there? Yeah, man. Musical disc called what? Streets of Africa. Yeah, man. Augustus Buchanan. Listen this.
To be young, gifted and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious feeling. To be young, gifted and black. Open your heart to what I mean. In the whole world you look, there's a million boys and girls who are young, gifted and black, and that's a fact. You are young, gifted and black. We must begin to tell our young. There's a world waiting for you. Yours is the quest that's just begun. Oh, when you're feeling low, there's a great truth that you should know. To be young, gifted and black, you're so intact.
Every day I give praise to the Most High. Watch over I.
Reflection in red, dread. And the people red, and the sea well dread, and the man them a loot and shoot. And the fire a burn, and the blood a run, and some people just don't know where it done. And the politicians a preach, and preachers a pray, but things a get worse day after day. And then from the east and the west and the north and the south, I shout peace. And the man them from Lima and jungle a bungle a dance and a prance to some heavy reggae rhythm. And the people red and the sea well dread, and the man them a loot and shoot. And for a long time, the man Peter Wheeler in the wilderness wailing. There can be no peace until there's equal rights and justice. And the little dirty bag of bone a bubble to a heavy hypnotic survival rhythm. And the mother with her hand on her jaw, I sing a sad song, a redemption. And the brother from the crack of dawn, a dance with death through the bloody black asphalt streets of the city without any pity. And the people are will free Michael Bernard. Down with capitalism. It's written on the wall. Babylon kingdom must fall. Not the dread ball. There can be no peace until there's equal rights and justice.
Every day I give praise to the Most High. Watch over I.
Doorkeep shall not enter this holy land. We wise and true man stand sipping from this cupful cup of peace. Not one shall enter, not one. Your people shall not enter this holy land. We wise and a true man stand sipping from the cup of peace. You chant down on Babylon. You chant down on Babylon. You chant down on Babylon. Chant down on Babylon. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. You give thanks and praise to the whole man of creation.
Every day I give praise to the Most High. Watch over I.
Mama, call brother to tell Papa
Every day I give praise to the Most High. Watch over I.
Blessed is the man that's walking not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor sitting in the way of the sinner. You know? So give thanks and praise unto Jabba Shanti, the Lord God, Rastafari. Mercy, Lord. Lord of mercy. Oh, Lord. Hey. Mount Zion. Ayana, ya step it in a Zion. Zion. I say Zion. Ayana, ya really happy. Go one day, and then you got to know, you got to know. Israel, we're going. Oh, Lord. Canatina go around, figure praise poor Jah just mighty with the lightning ball. Canatina go around, figure praise poor He fling one stone and then he mash down Rome. Not he broke up the sisters and he broke up the comb. Then him left and come up. Step it in a Zion. And a son is saying not to step it in a Zion. And not step it in a Zion. Zion, I want to go. That you got to know, you got to really work the show and make us step it out of Babylon, step it out of Zion, make us step it in a Zion. Mount Zion, in a song we see that when we see that in a Zion. In a sing the Ayana, you have to step it in a Zion. Lion, Zion. Man say give thanks and praise unto Jabba Shanti, I God Rastafari, Mount Zion. Make us step it in a Zion line. We call conception and the correction come from paradise and the wicked man of Babylon. We can teach the mama someone leader. We can make us step it in a Zion. Sister make us back it out of Babylon. Ain't a son they say. Until I go around figure praise poor pa. Now go around figure praise poor pa. Cause I just mighty with the lightning ball. Cause I just mighty with the lightning ball. Cannot teach it than the ball and a wicked and the fall and make us step it up as Zion in a some may we let's teach them Mrs. Zion. Zion we want to go. In a that you got to know, we got to know, we got to know, we got to move it down on some of Zion. In a some make us step it in a Zion.
Every day I give praise to the Most High. Watch over I.
Yes, to those of you out there who just see what happened just now, yeah, infringements and infringement. Maybe the discussion that the thought me I give so far hurt some feelings. Me no know. YouTube defends certain things, but me there again. So don't bother go away. You know, me just there again. So here what we have to do now. We are continue with these people. Yeah, Africa, Africans, Muslim, civilized Spain and Europe. African Muslims. You hear the word Muslims, you know. African Muslims. You see? Okay. Right. So people that don't, it's been a whole heap of conversations of a lot of people, especially in America, and them go play hula hoops and swings and roundabouts, trying to decipher in the word more, Moors, but more. See? And from them do that now, some of them get caught up in Jew Ali and the Moorish period that he brought into, or he enlightened African Americans them too during his period. So he came up with his Moorish thing. He put an Ottoman Anglo-Egyptian twist to it. So him have on the pheasant and him have on the gam. And he taught the people them this Moorish doctrine according to him. Okay? So, you know what I mean? We're trying to get somewhere as we evolve in the Western man's region as slaves after the so-called abolishment in North America and in the Caribbean of our ancestors. But the teaching were that not that Africans civilized Spain and a greater part of Europe. You know, that kind of information seemed not to be used or referred to. But my Imam Wardi Muhammad, in about all of this, he exposed and his researchers brought all of this to the surface. And also the Ansar community of that day, Imam Isa and the Ansar community, but that kind of realization, information, knowledge to the surface. Now, when him change and so forth, and then these people in Harlem set up them thing, house of consciousness and so forth, the people them that know or knew, and some of them who are Ansars, and some who are intriguingly fascinated with Imam Isa of that time, did not unravel or explain who the Moors were or what it meant by Moor and not Moorish, and so on. Them kept it in mysticism and them kept it wrapped round of Jew Ali, and so on. And it did what some Caucasians them wanted it to do, and some of our own people wanted it to do. It kept them there for so long and did not project anything about Spain or anything about the institutions and the development of the Africans, what the Africans brought into Europe, but i.e. Spain. Because why Spain? Is that Spain is where them lived. Spain's where they lived. They made Spain their headquarters. You understand? Not that they didn't go to Denmark and all these different places and Sweden and so forth, but the civilization in Spain and a large part of Europe were also developed through the African Muslims. Okay. So we have this history is there, right? Now, with that number of Africans throughout the years, 800 and some years, them did it, right? Some say that them had 700 years without any kind of conflict with anybody from Spain, from France, and from Portugal, from the Portuguese, right? Some reports in Cambridge and Oxford and the British Library reads this way. What is it actually saying? It's actually saying that there are 700 years where people them was living, the European them was living in tranquility. There was no hostility from the Europeans towards the Africans. They were what we can call a loving, sincere, humanitarian relationship, exchange, and so on. Now, the last 100 years that met the 8 and 50 was traumatic because the European people them, especially the Germans and the English, them sought for a faith, and they were trying to construct themselves or construct this faith that we all get to hear is called Christianity. And then you have the Italians developing their institution where them have the Pope, a Pope. And that's where the Muslim situation in Europe, particularly Spain, become harsh because that Pope and those popes of those days were not tolerant as they come into some kind of order. So the Muslims them started to feel hostility, sense hostility, and some form of brutality from the Europeans, from various sectors of the Europeans. And then we had the height of what is known as the Inquisition. And the Inquisition was not aimed, Philip III didn't aim all his things at the Muslims. It was at their people, and it wasn't that Islam were the guilty for the people them not adhering to. Well, we don't know. I wasn't there. To what they wanted. Because their rule, their leadership was coming from Rome now. Rome was playing a big part in Europe, along, as I said, with the British, I forgot the French, and the Germans. So the Muslims and all that they're doing and all the development and the civilization of these people and so forth. Not that they weren't effective, but they were forced to represent themselves, to which they didn't do what we would call a good job of it. Remember, we're talking Africans. Their wisdom was to expound to the people them that their creed doesn't have to be so harsh, and the documentation to this effect. But the Philip and the Pope, they were adamant, and the Muslim found themselves having to retreat, or as in to leave, because hostility grew and grew, greater and greater, against them. And you will find that all the annuals show you that many Muslims are Africans, and I should keep saying Muslim, many Africans decided to go home, but many stayed and persevered. And then they had to defend themselves. And they lost that battle. They lost out. And one of the greatest standing point that even in school, the British still hasn't made it understood here in England, and the Spanish hasn't made it understood in Spain and to the world. But the political people, them know. Gibraltar is the name of an African warrior. And that was the last stand of the Africans who put up a resistance towards defending themselves in Spain. The Rock of Gibraltar was the last stand. But it's not the rock. It is the man, Gibraltar. Now, they did not attack the Spanish or the Italians. They wanted to see the back of the Africans from their region. And remember something, even up to the time that the Romans came, this area of the place fell into what them call the Dark Ages. And what is known as the Renaissance is the period, the existence of the African Muslims cleansing and raising these people in Europe to a mature standard and a civilized standard. You have to read texts in the British Library pertaining to why that word is used, Dark Ages, why it's used. Now this is about Muslims we are talking, you know. Because we can't stand these people keep bashing and bashing. And we are say, and the Europeans are say African Muslims. Them not say Arab. And even if they did, what is your problem? But they didn't say Arab. Them say African. Put that in your chalice. and have some real serious sense. No skunk. You have to look at our brother, historian, Sheikh Anta Diop, and his explanation educationally, culturally, about the endeavors of the Africans in Europe and how they reform the Europeans from their barbarianism. Yes. But you see, some people are very selective. They only wanted to know Sheikh Anta Diop for Kemet. But there's much, much more from Sheikh Anta Diop. But you see, those people who prejudice themselves based on Muslim bashing and eradicate or eliminate or push back anything to do with Africans because they were Muslims are foolishness. It's foolishness. Great African empires, Islamic empires, were on the continent. And then a great African Muslim empire was outside of Africa, in Europe. Educationally, culturally, morally, economically, industrially. Yes, you think say just come there and play around and deal with mysticism and this type of thing. No, star. Develop the infrastructure that you see that civilized people them use all now. Roads, draining system, waste system, what a thing with the water name? Is a thing with reservoir and so forth. Huh? Toiletries. You understand? And the economical system was mathematics, banking, schools, places of learning. Huh? We brought that to Europe. Africans. Now we had some people them that are predominantly and particularly called Moors. Those Moorish sect came out of a place we call today Morocco. Morocco, place like Chad, place like Libya, place like Mauritania, place like Algeria, place like Yemen, Moors. No, you had dark Moors and mulatto Moors, to coin the right phrase, like that which you have seen in Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, and these places today. Berbers. But if you look, or if you did know, when you go to Senegal or the Sahara, you see a people that were also by the Europeans called Moors. and they're Africans. Now today they want to move them out of a land that's filled with gold, with gas and oil. But they're the Tuaregs. To us, they call the Tuaregs. And they're Muslims. They always have been and they always will be. But that's just the slight valuation or validation of some Moors. This is, and the Roman Empire, they all became an empire and they did their worst. To force us back out of Europe. And then the Spanish, during and after their Renaissance, but after the Inquisition, remove our names. So the place and European history does not reflect unless you seek within their institutions and are awarded permission to know. So it seemed that we never been there, but for a few years, and it's not so, because even here in England, William Shakespeare, wrote many of his playwrights were expounding the black African Muslims. Not those sexual ta-ta-ta. But he found it in his day necessary because of the moral and ethical principles of the African Muslims, how they carry themselves. Remember, these are people that in this part of the world that never bathe. Don't let them keep telling you that the Greek and the Turkish and these people bought about baths, you know. Are the African them? Infrastructure have baths. And the Muslim have to pray. And the Muslim have to wash 5 times a day. Yes. So, William Shakespeare made so much mention of the greatness of the Muslims, African Muslims in Spain. Now, what that should also project was the growth of that which they call Christianity. The Muslim did not hinder and some of their brethren from places like Abyssinia that were followers of Musa, that today you are called Jews, or the word Jew is mentioned. They were among the African Muslims. So we weren't 100% pure Muslims But the Muslims were the lead. So there was no discrepancies and there was no hostility among the Africans and those who were followers of Musa alayhi salam. And that we have a problem with. Stop it, man. Don't bother try project those foolishness. You understand? And if it was by the sword that they intended to spread Islam, then Europe would be black. Would be black. Higher learning was developed here, just like our great institution in Timbuktu and other places on the continent. What today Europe knows as college and universities, the structure was developed here by the African Muslims. That's our great contribution to the world outside of North America and outside of the continent called Africa. Numerals and what you call today the decimal system was introduced here by the African Muslims. Now this is Arab numerals. Oh, you have a problem with it, innit? This is Arabic numerals. And what is called today the decimal system is a very ancient system that was deployed by the African Muslims, African Muslims, and known predominantly and only by Muslims. Yes, look it up. Don't get confused. And Europe is mentally indebted to the African Muslims. They know the strength and the capability of Islam and of African Muslims. It is some of us who have this serious prejudice because they call themselves Pan-African, this, that, and the other thing, and the greatest talk show on earth. So investigate the African Muslims in Europe. And their contributions and how they went about civilizing the Europeans. Now, why are they a threat to you and a threat to Europeans? Because of our true potential to be what? To be a free people again. So, you had libraries, or there were libraries where there were over 500,000 books in Spain. There were hospitals. They were running flowing water. Because the Muslims need these things in terms of worship. But they also need it for worship, but they also need these things. Anyone would need these things if you develop a conducive infrastructure. You can go to Karbala and still see that which was built by Muslims, but now are called church and mosque. So Muslims can go in there, can see the familiarity of a mosque, and Christians can go in and see the familiarity of their church, or what is meant to be a church. Because that's what the Spanish did after them forced us out, beat us out. So the books, the literature, is that what Pan-Africans them should be trying to find. The literature and all these house of consciousness, the literature that expounds not just the fact that somebody was a Moor. What did these people do? What did they accomplish? What did they accomplish? Were they jihadists? All this nonsense. Huh? Art. The age of art. The age of art and geometry was a pleasure of Africans. You see the pyramid, don't you? You see how they built, don't you? You see that technology? Or did you use that word? I'm telling you. So, come to England and go to Oxford and Cambridge and come to the British Museum, the British Library, and spend some time. Stop expounding Columbus. What's Columbus got to goddamn do with the greatness of Africans? He said this is allegedly discovering, right? So are you going to get yourself stuck in a Columbus when there's greater understanding to be found about ourselves? Some of us. And then you espouse nonsense when you buck up on something that says Islam and Muslims. But Columbus is not just a damn blasted liar. It's the best opportunist that you can work with. Can't you see yourselves? Seriously. Can't you see yourself with this nonsensical prejudice? Huh? Black skin peoples. That's what the Spanish and the Portuguese, black skin peoples who worship a God called Allah and obey the guidance of a man called Muhammad. Yes, they wrote these things explaining Muslims. Fascinating, you know. You can read these things. They never said anything about any of the Muslims there enslaving men or women that did not, if you like, succumb to them. Because they were not forcing anybody to follow them or adhere to them. Islam does not engage in oppression. I'm telling you. Nor colonization of people. I'm telling you. Huh? You listen to CNN and all these different people that has some race prejudice against Muslims. And if you're not following them, you're just nonsensical, seriously. So, Islam will continue to push on through, and good people who are here to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to evolve and push on through. That's a fact. Doesn't need you to validate it. It just needs you to shut up. When it comes to Muslims, and shut up. You understand? Seriously. Because you're not saying nothing good. You're not saying nothing good. And not one of us will say, yo, you see them Rasta boy there? All them do is smoke ganja. No, we don't behave with that stupidity, man. Ignorance that's what you call tit for tat and butter for fish. We not play them stupid game there. You understand? We have more sense than that. No. Mozambique. The peoples of Mozambique want to know, why are American forces in for them country doing all these despicable things? And you talk Mozambique, and nobody not talk Mozambique. But the Europeans them start talk Mozambique because Mozambique them find so much gas. So much gas in a Mozambique. And the Europeans that were just talking, how much good that the Muslims have done for Mozambique, for Europe. These same Europeans and the archaeologists, they have discovered, along with their American friend them, so much gas in Mozambique. Now this is since 2011. I have Italian companies, British and US, skirmishing, trying to position themselves and destabilize the area so they can control. And a person like you all know these things. Them say it's one of the largest gas field in the world. And we're talking about 15 trillion cubic feet of natural gas in one space. In a one space, you know. And there's variant spaces, or localities, or locations within and the surrounding coast of Mozambique. But you know what? Soon as you get to hear something about Mozambique, you realize that the population of Mozambique and the population of Mozambique is such, and there's a vast population of Muslims in a Mozambique, but that's throughout Africa. But you know, say Mozambique now, it come like the Caribbean because it's on the coastline and so forth, right? So the population is 30 plus millions of people. It was part of the British Empire. And this was part of neo-colonialism, right? But the governance has been normal, cordial, etc. Yes, Mozambique. And the people that eat. What them grow is what them eat. Yes. But with the Europeans constantly exploring and doing, them come with an interest and trying to seduce the institution. Now they're trying to unsettle the nation. And them come with some Hollywood and some dangerous behavior. Kidnapping people, murdering people, and then saying that X, Z, and Y's that they have put into Syria and into Iraq is now within Mozambique. But instead of them being Caucasians and these mulattoes, they're now black Africans. And you and people like you are saying that them grudge is that them want everything to become Muslim. Who told you that? In the first instance, the problem that developed and is escalating in Mozambique, it's outside entrapment. It's not Mozambique people. It's not Muslims. It's infiltrators, covert operations. And God willing, you will get more, you'll hear more, unless America start kidnapping all the people them that discover their people and take them to Guantanamo Bay. Just like how Nigeria has been quiet the last 3 weeks about the people them that they have discovered and they have arrested that are not other Africans. They're outsiders, mercenaries, black people looking like us. Destabilizing tactics. Destabilizing tactics. It's just like what the people them say that the Libyans are selling Africans. And you always like talking. Nobody wasn't asking for the United Nations and the African Union to go in there and see exactly what was going on and liberate those people. When I make mention of the thing, because when I know say Gaddafi, and you know say that Libya is Muslim, so it's better to use the propaganda machine yourselves to say that this is Muslims' oppression, hatred today. And then that don't become a popular news anymore, so it stopped. But the people in Yemen and in Chad and in Sudan is not your people. Gosh, man. Strange thing, innit? And Nubia, they're not your people. This is where them get the uranium and all these things from, you know. And them ill-treat the nation, the whole population of Nubia, Namibia. But you keeping up to date? Or you just waiting for press release? Or what is popular news coming from the US? Stop it, man. And you don't want Anglo-European Africans. You want Africans, organic Africans, deciphering and transmitting information. Organic Africans, deciphering information. Not Western-minded. You know, see how the Chinese have to deal with their people? America have a lot of Chinese, you know. And they become turncoat. Yes. They must prefer being American Chinese, but they're Americans. And they don't, and they haven't been back to China. But they speak to America on what China does and what China doesn't do. As experts on China. Just like you have Caucasians are experts on Africa, experts on Ghana, experts on Nigeria. And some young boys them that are expert on Muslim understanding, our principles and our ethics. Nah, these are racist-minded people working for a propaganda machine. That is one of the better part of Nero. He never went along with that norm. He broke the cycle of that norm. Alleged norm. Nero, Trump. It's better for a person to tell you straight away they don't like you, they dishonor you, or them like you. You know where you stand. Whether than the one who pretends and slowly but surely kill you, poison you, misuse you, mentally rape and abuse you. In the word called human rights and democracy. I tell you, examine social science and ask the questions when you reflect, evaluate, what did social science do for you? If you don't know how to assess and evaluate, leave international politics alone. Leave social care and analysis alone. Because we want good. We not just want to say that we know something, we want good. We want good. We want good in the life that we have now, and we want good for our families. Because none of us, no human being, live forever. Stop being selfish. So I hope that YouTube don't block my thing because them say me play something and use that to say them I block it internationally. And you get to hear everything. You understand? Because when I talk nonsense, Guidance. Guidance. Mozambique, lovely.
Sadama Sadana. There's a land far, far away where there's no night, there's only day. Look into the book of life and you will see that there's a land far, far away. That there's a land far, far away. The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords sit upon his throne and he rules us all. Look into the book of life and you will see that he rules us all. That he rules us all.
Yes, man. Big tune. So you must keep a focus on George Floyd case, you know. I'm telling you, it's gonna hurt us, seriously. I tell you. The people them want to go back to other encounters with the police. They want to show a pattern. And they justifying a reaction. I tell you. A serious thing, you know. That these people. So if you're not following it, you will lose out. You need to be following it so you're totally informed. So those of you who don't know the channel, it's called Court TV. And if you don't have it, ask your brethren, sister in them in America. You understand? And have a look, because it's justice that people want. So you have to pay attention and see what happens. And realize that there's still ain't no conversation in relation to amendment to the Constitution and to give African Americans sovereignty of human rights. You take your eyes them off the prize, and I talk about dancehall girls them and guys them behaving badly, and now they're more US. And what is called dancehall is a new thing that's depleted reggae. As it's evolve and evolve and it evolve, and it come with sexuality, profanities, and so forth and so forth, them divorce themselves from reggae. Them divorce themselves from the roots and culture. They have given birth to something. They have given birth to something. And that something is changing a generation of our children. And I say children because it's young people and some old perverted minded people of my age that can't control their sexual emotions. And it's difficult when something's in your face anyway, so I can't really hit out or say anything harsh about them, because a woman with a G-string and a good-looking body that our people them have, and she a parade it and then gyrate herself. The only way you can avoid that is not to be in the same space. And if by chance you were, you have to close your eye. And I don't know which man is going to be in such space. And this going on is going on. And them just close them eye. He's dribbling. It's a man, it's a human. That's why you can't hear no man or men saying, yo, put on some clothes. You don't hear that. You hear man saying, take it off, take off the rest, man. Or come over here. Or you look on the stage where the awards are, and enough man them want to be in the front of the stage. They want to be close as possible. And them have all form of devices to film the thing. And the more the cameras and the more the lights, the more explicit these women behave. But someone should ask, since wham to the man them? But no, the man them are wear some drain pipe trousers. That one has to ask a question, how the hell did they get in there? How did they get in there? And even a man them that well built have a lot of bundle. They put on these tight things. What's that all about? So instead you try go after Muslim, try go after the immoral attitudes and behavior that are developed all around you. Seriously. Set an example. We teach, we learn to teach, and we teach to learn. You forgot? We learn to teach and we teach to learn. So, who are you teaching? Yeah? Stop propagating nonsense. Guidance. Chesedek, Rasta Chesedek.
Hey, moving forward, yeah. Forward, march, march, till we get justice. March, 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 resist injustice. March, even if blood run, we will not back down. We keep on going. We keep holding on. We got no guns and no nuclear bombs, man. Unity make us strong, strong, strong. Why should we be silent while we are being down-pressed? We must rise up on our feet and protest. injustice march. Beatings and tear gas, rubber bullets and tasers, water cannon, still we are galang. Live ammunition, still hold position, keep the resistance. No give up, we give thanks. We won't be silenced by their violence. We'll be chanting right to the end. March, march, till we get justice. March, 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 resist injustice. March. Oh, this burden my ancestors carry, hoping to turn a new page in our story. Still we struggling, blood, sweat and sorrow. Will our children fight the same battle tomorrow? We must overcome through the powers of the Most High for the betterment of the children. March, march, till we get justice. March, 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 resist injustice. March, 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 till we get justice. March, 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 resist injustice. March.
The work of the Lord is perfect, and the coming of his judgment is soon. Make haste while you may. Tomorrow is another day.
Child the children following
Don't take a vote against him, mother.
bad day.
Why would you even fight against him, brother? Sing Babylon, love Jaja children. So you got to love them well. Sing Babylon, love Jaja children. So you got to love them well. And watch it only time will tell. Sing Babylon, love Jaja children. And watch you got to love them well. Same take a vote against him, mother. Move ya! Don't come to fight against him, brother. Why would take a vote against his mother? Just to go and fight out him, brother. It's a trial and tribulation and pure persecution. Trial and tribulation and pure persecution. Babylon knows that our children. Why may say if you love them well?
What you gonna do when the Father stretch forth his hands to lead us forward to the promised land?
Then we'll be going to a land of happiness and joy, a land of peace, total togetherness, and may we walking together. Don't make them we love one another, to love the other children. And so I say to love them well. So make only time will tell. In every way and every walk of life, it's just trial and tribulation. tribulation and pure persecution. Trial and tribulation and pure persecution. Babylon love Jaja children, I beg you. So me say if you love them well. Cause everything is time will tell. I say the time is now. I know it's now. I sing it now. And
me say the time is now. You understand? Why you go round and round and round and spoil the time? See? Nah. No, don't bother do that.
I would give people comfort, good as I would say. Good like you know we should, I would tell you. Say you on ya, but you no ban ya. Cause you no ban ya, but you want ya. Skin and no sata make you ban ya. Skin and no sata make you want ya. Cause if your mama never born ya, who cares? Can if your papa never born ya? So me got to tell you more, so no color, sata matagana. Sweeter than jade, sweeter than jade. So me show you set a jade, sweeter than jade. Aya jade, sweeter than jade. Touch it, 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 touch it. See when one is wicked, you got to kill them then before them spreaders I will say.
Wow.
You really don't want to see.
Guidance. You don't want to see anyone else progressing. Yeah. Yo, Maureen, Janice, love you know. You understand? Check me out, man. We still there. Once y'all is still in good health, you understand? Check we out. Best still there, man. Maureen and Janice.
You really don't want to see.
And Warren, Mr. Warren Smith, I hope you're still in good health, you know, because you know, I say last year you wasn't in good health. You know what I mean? So, when I hear nothing. So, Warren Smith, yeah, man. Maureen and Jennings.
You really don't want to see your brother make progress. Whoa, yeah.
I can't understand why some people them like that, you know. You understand? Because all I want to see is the pastor them understand the role of a shepherd or a fisherman. So them can start work with us properly. And not us the Muslim, us as African people, properly. You understand? Okay. And that's it. That's just me. You know? And eliminate that word there, that title them I've called Jesus, and spend some time knowing or finding out who Isa alayhi salam, the Christ is. And then spend some time also finding out who Moses was and what was his mission and his purpose, and Joseph, Yusuf, and even Solomon and David. And then start pledging allegiance to the line of Judah, the elected one, and stop substituting what is original for what is fraudulent. They're not Catholic, Anglican, or CEs, or Protestants. They're Muslims. And them have two sides. They either follow three sides. They either follow Musa, or them follow Isa, or them follow Muhammad. And it's all the same. What says you? Oh, should we say four? Because you got the Injil, the Zabur, the Torah, and the Quran, Al-Furqan. And they're all one. Come from the same source, directing us to good character, good humanitarian qualities, making us to recognize that we're one family on this earth. It don't create discrepancies based on our genealogy, barring that we're humans and our ethnicity. No, just humans, all having to obey and strive for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes. Okay. We're gone, man.
You really don't want to see your brother make progress. Whoa, yeah.
It seems them got a friend in YouTube because them blips my thing. I may have to come back on. I'm back on. You see? Okay. So, what them do with the first piece?
You really don't want to see your brother make progress. Whoa, yeah. Some don't want to see their brother make progress. Some don't want to see the sister make progress. So every time they see me pass,
If the people, if my brothers them in a Dubai United Arab Emirates call you want to see how rat it quick and I get up and run gone. One you lost for money. And the second one, you want somewhere cleaner, more prestigious than anything you've ever seen in this life so far. And you will not say to anybody, yo, you see some Arab, them come get me, you know. So I will try to tell you, say, here what just say some Saudis come and got you. Them had a fascination or interest in you. You see? You see how shaggy them and go to United Arab Emirates, you know. You understand? All these people, then I come back and start throw aspersions and all kind of innuendos. You see? But they will tell you, oh gosh, man, I see some features there that, but you know what? True to the Muslim thing, you know, oh gosh, man. See? And that's what happens to most of you. You're lusting for things just like the white man. You're lusting for we women. What day when I talk about Mauritania, you go Mauritania, you see everybody, all the women them, Muslim. You don't look at the scholarship in Mauritania. Then you say, like the white boy them that can't get to be pervertedness, their behaviors in there. You call them, you say that them have slaves. The people that have servants. You understand? For them life, for them way. They're taking care of the downtrodden and everything in a them society. What you do with yours? You left them there. And they become prostitutes and drug addicts. Which one you prefer? Not you take in some children, some people them, and take care of them, get us something for do, and take care of them, make sure them have good bath, them have food to eat, good clothes to wear, and they're not being abused. You understand? There's always a side of the coin that you should analyze carefully if you understood social science and assess and evaluate what did it do to know what it can do and it should have been doing. Instead of just keep moving, not change, not learning. You understand? Not learning. Seriously, pure dopey conquerors.
You really don't want to see your brother make progress.
Why dopey conqueror? How much people there symmetry? How much people there symmetry? How come education can be free? And you have Cuba there to look at. How come? How come? And all this talk wanna have. How come? Develop your yard first, your home first. Use up your intelligence. Exercise your morality. And your fundamental principles first with yourself before you can start look upon others, man. Serious thing.
Oh yes, it was happening, but no more.
Big tune, big tune, big tune.
It was happening.
Sing!
Tribal war. We know what no more I die.
See? George Nooks. Yeah. Delroy. See, there's a place in Africa, so much places, man, not just one. You understand? Now listen this one here.
Rise up, African children, rise up. Oh, 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 oh. We've been too long down in the valley. We must get out somehow. If we have to climb, fly, or use a rope, we must get out somehow. We must take the blindfold from our eyes so we can see the way. We've been too long down in the valley. We must get out right now. We don't need no more false teachings, no more false preachings. We must know that nature is the source of life.
You know, consistency brings about a reality, you know. There's no point people them scatter-shotting and this and that and other and that. You understand? Like your canvas for votes and numbers. If you really believe in something, you're consistent in it. Try to take a mindset to musicians and what they call rehearsals. Take a mindset into what is a coach. Take a mindset in what is a teacher. A teacher that loves and cares for the subject that they have learned would also care about their recipients. Is it recipients? Just the students. You understand? Right? They will care. Once them have that balance and they are consistent in that, what would be projected is something that is fruitful. So what is missing is that our children, to you, are hearing things and you play hopscotch and skip to the loo. You see? No consistency. So no wonder the government them or the people them who's in charge do what they do. Okay. The population not consistent. Why should they be consistent? And the news broadcasters are not consistent. Huh? And the talk shows and everybody, they're not consistent. So, who really wants any change? Nobody. It's when someone feel a pinch tomorrow, they say, ah! And until such time it get close to them, everything is normal. Whatever normal is. See? So, you may be a journalist. Say look for hot spots and hot points and keep moving. Who's killing people? People. Why are they killing people? What's the reason? What's the cause? So the effect is that the death. What's the cause? It's not the gun. There's something wrong with the structure. There's something wrong with the orientation. There's something wrong with the morality. There's something wrong with the discipline. There's something wrong with the teaching. There's something wrong with the instruction. There's something wrong with the legality. There's something wrong with justice. So there's a frailty within the structure of humanity within the islands. Simple. Bashing Muslims and saying these Arabs and carrying on this way, is that going to bring forth a solution? And then repeating, regurgitating what Garvey said, or alleged to have said, and don't put it into play and bring it into fruition. No wonder the young people them are do something different. Because they know Beanie and Bounty them is in what? Them 40s? That's all they've ever heard. Ask them. Ask them. Don't just pick one group, say they're Nyabinghi. Ask them. That's all they've heard. They haven't saw any action. Them just keep hearing. Soon from now, they're going to be grandfathers. Are they going to be telling their children, the same thing that they grew up in 40 years, 42 years, hearing? Come on. That's to assess and evaluate something that's so profoundly natural. Seriously. Everybody have a piece of something for the Europeans have a piece of Africa. Check it.
Save African children, save African children. We are. Hey, how comes everyone have a piece of Africa when Africa belongs to the...
And because of your sin thing, you know, see where me go? Everything African, you know. Everything this evening African, right? Because I don't want to say that the Muslim then we're not African. Yo, here comes the judge.
Here comes the judge. Hear ye him. Oh yeah, God save the African king. Anyone have anything to say before this just judge? Come say it now and say it like you're glad, and not like you're mad. For this judge have no mercy in this time. session. Silence in the court.
Yo, how much African things me play since you mad me up in this African thing? Eh? I tell you, I can go until tomorrow morning, you know. You understand? And the same thing. And this is my reggae Bible. See? So I've just gone around it just to pick out the African sentiment, the African words and everything. To just make you understand. Stop that, man. Stop it. Seriously. Find some of the things and take care of the people them. Be consistent with the people them arguments. You understand? Because you're a politician outside of politics and you now tell the politician them that's in the politics that they're not consistent. And all the people they want is good guidance and good governance, right? With some transparency. And all the poor people they want is an opportunity. You see? And all the young people they want and the families is education. So they want free education. You understand? Proper learning facilities and give the mosquito them, deport the mosquito them, and develop the rundown areas them. It's an island. It's an island. Gosh, man. In England here, can't you see the great football pitches them? The great football stadiums that are built? It's an island. It's an island. What I'm trying to say, it's not a big-ass place that's going to take a whole heap to structuralize if the aspirations and the desires are there. You see? So point not your finger. You keep look on Johannesburg because Johannesburg remind you of New York. Jamaica Avenue, Queens. Yeah? Yes. I tell you. Right? But when you go Cape Town, you have to put your hand in your pocket and feed some people. Give them something. Help them. What kind of institution you have in Africa? What kind of institution you have in Africa? Musical institution. Come on, man. Let's be real. What kind of institution? Africa needs some health institution. Social care institution. Seriously. It needs some aid support. And it needs somebody outside that talk, and create division among its people. It needs love and harmony and tranquility among its people, not division, separation. That is a European phenomenon. That's what they have done. Develop borders, develop division and everything. And all those divisions we've got hostility in many areas like Angola over the years. Who went and helped the Angolans? Now Fidel Castro? And before Fidel, Che Guevara? Or what? You was born, man. You understand? Angola. You don't know that one there. Who destroy what the place the name? Very rich, Zaire. Who destroy Zaire? Me, the Muslim, or the Pope and their followers? When you find some place where Muslims destroy, and stop saying that we are going around raping people. When you find somewhere in Africa, out of the 53 countries that we have destroyed, and we continue to destroy, and we are governing and everything, let the world know. I'm telling you. Central Africa, Congo. Or take the riches out of the Congo. Who's abusing the people them in the Congo? Who's also abusing the people them in Ghana? The young people them that are take the gold and everything out for the white man. Who's doing that? And the man that talk brave. He's talking brave. But what is happening behind him talking is what nobody don't talk about. Come on, man. But yeah, deal with Africa. You understand? Yes. The Congo. rich and wealthy, need someone like you down there, not performing. Huh? I get the people them some good aspiration. You understand? Yes. Cameroon needs some people like you there. Get the people them some encouragement, motivation. Not music. Motivation. Encouragement. Huh? And to make the politician them understand that the infrastructure that's there is not for the middle class. It's for the Congolese. It's for every African. Eliminate the poverty. Yes, the poverty. When I talk about the first class regions of these countries that are European developed for their interests, and me being the president is sitting in high places, just like the Caribbean have its uptown and downtown territories. Huh? And the people downtown live in a squalor and poverty and embrace mosquito and dirty stinking water. Huh? You understand? And run down shops. And the foreigner, them control the supermarket and with their yard at home. Could you imagine? And you're casting your eyes somewhere else and throwing aspersions somewhere else. Gosh, man, terrible. Have you been to Zambia? Hey, Zambia, them have whole heap of mineral. But Mozambique, oh gosh, man, them there by the ocean, not true? Yes. Yes. Maybe there's some beautiful women there all across the continent, but in Mozambique that you see, eh? Yeah. So look on Zaire and tell me what you understand about Zaire. Because Zaire huge, you know that. You know, North America can fit into Zaire 2 times. 2 times. Zaire alone. I tell you. Stop let them keep telling about Nigeria so big, you know. Zaire huge. Yeah. But every time when I turn around, when I hear La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, who sent it to Morocco? Yeah? The prince. Invitation and good time. And receive enough cloth. Huh? Enough cloth. Enough incense. Enough understanding. They're Muslims. Nobody never tell you? Yes. Yes. They're the ones that captured a lot of our sheikhs, a lot of our top teachers, you know. Those Moroccans. Them give a good invitation, and by the time we get there, them kidnap we. They won't let we go back home and keep we there. To do what? Teach them and teach their children. You understand? And break our chain. So the institution that I was the principal of, now them lack me because I'm not there anymore. You understand? The Moroccans, them did that. They did that. Yes, they did that. The Moroccans. They're known for it. But when I don't know that, I do you. And you refuse for talk. Marrakesh. You love that place there, innit? You got a lot of garments, a lot of incense. Why? Them teach you how to work with a snake. Salam alaikum, rahmatullahi barakatuh. Sally, man. My dangerous, you know. Yeah, joke. Stop playing with us. Interfere with us. You can play, but don't interfere with us. So much single parents about. You now look after them. Come on, man. Stick it in your pocket and give a kind word to those who's in need, man. Help them to reach where you reach. Like you cross the border, you got on a plane, you go to America, you find out something, you get something, and you was able to come and set up a life. Simple. For yourself, definitely, and your family. And you've been prosperous ever since. So, some of the youth them, expound that journey to them. So them too who are seeking some prosperity in them life for them family, out of the garrison or out of the poverty, stricken, dirty water area and everything, can also find that without someone come and seduce them into some form of drugs, not ganja, no, drugs, or some kind of bad man thing. And the next thing, you are called them along with your law people, them gunmen. And they're not. It's just that they're young people and they don't have the adventure from their elders. What a problem. Richie Stevens, listen. Me I bust this long time.
God bless every single parent of this world. Only by youth on the street, them don't know them father. Only mama alone. From the day mama get up and talk, say she pregnant. Papa run left the home. Poor mama holding it together in this battle alone.
You can't challenge me in the music. I left you standing, man. And even come out here, I select 1 and 2 tune because some people them stack them up, give. Oh gosh, man. Learn from me. You understand? Guidance we gone. My boss, you know. And I vex me. I haven't laughed with myself because I know I say ignorant see that done what you have been doing. And you have more sense than that. You see? So I hope that you reel and whine and come back to reality, because sometimes we just go astray. We're humans, you understand? Sometimes we go astray. But you've been doing it for quite a while, you know. See? You've been doing it for quite a while. So rein yourself in, man. Because you're a big man, big old man. Rein yourself in. See? It'd be good for us, all of us. Rein ourselves in, man. Charity begins at home. Value your African family in totality. We don't want no separation and isolation. Guidance.